Hi, Bothered Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. So, as people can tell, I got a haircut. And, that's probably the last social venture I'll be able to go on for a while, potentially, because of the latest news of the Omicron variant. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, because I know exactly how this is going to play out, and this all sort of touches on a few things that I've seen on social media, right? So I'm sure we've all seen the same memes going around about, this is what happens in a capitalist system where people decide to just, oh no, we can't give up the patents. And so what if the poorer parts of the world just wallow in misery and unvaccination? This won't come back to bite us in the ass. And, well, of course, as many people rightly predicted, it has come back to bite us all in the ass. But there was one particular form of comment that stood out to me, and it's what's ultimately prompting this video. And it was a comment that basically said something along the lines of, well, this is capitalists being so short-sighted. They just wanted to protect their patents, and now it's coming back to haunt them. That's not what's happening here, unfortunately. This hurts all of us, but it doesn't hurt Big Pharma. Again, folks, bigger picture here. What is the purpose of capitalism? It is to produce more wealth through the reinvestment and acquisition of capital. In this case, what we're focusing on is Big Pharma. So how does Big Pharma make money? They make money by selling pharmaceuticals, especially at marked up prices. So with this in mind, crucially, another thing that we have to keep in mind with capitalism is responsibility to shareholders, not to nations, societies, governments, communities, etc., to shareholders. This is crucial. So if their mission or objective, whatever you want to call it, is to make money, and they have to ensure that their shareholders who get a share of that money are very happy, then what is the logical course of action? It means you're going to fight tooth and nail against ending patent protections because, well, that's what allows all our shareholders and us here in the business to just make tons of money. This is capitalism. Why are you punishing me for my success? And then the second crucial part of this is they welcome the news of new variants because they, being at the top of the pharmaceutical food chain, are going to be the ones who will continue to make money off of, now we need to develop a new vaccine to fight this variant. And so our quarterly returns just keep going up, and our shareholders are very happy, which is why I keep my big executive job and I get just fat stacks of money as a Christmas bonus. That's what this is. So no, unfortunately, this hasn't come back to bite capitalists in the ass. What it's done is it's come back to bite societies in the ass that toil under a capitalist system. The capitalists in charge are more than happy to have various different variants pop up, especially if they're in the pharmaceutical industry, because that's how they make money. That's why they're not going to give up the patents, or if they do, they're going to have to be, fought. And then the second part is, so long as the shareholders are happy, which means you got to make money, which means new vaccines for different variants and also protecting your vaccine patents. That's what the focus is going to be on. And on a just kind of related note, but not really, this just reminds me so much of how so many conspiracies around the world are just junk. They have no real substance. It's all, it's all part of a deep state conspiracy to lock us up and blah, blah, blah. Nah, man, shit's not that deep. This is just greedy sociopaths having to deal with other greedy sociopaths, and the interaction is what creates so much of the suffering. So many conspiracies can be explained away as greedy sociopaths looking out for their interests and just guarding their interests against other greedy sociopaths. That can just sum up so much of what passes for modern day conspiracy theories. And that's why, of course, any meaningful action, right? The WHO has declared this a variant of concern, and governments have responded by, blocking travel to underdeveloped countries, especially in Africa, and saying, oh no, see, this variant apparently came from South Africa, so we're going to ban travel from there. Even though when like we first got news of the variants, it was because one was found in Belgium and another one was found in Hong Kong. Two places that are mysteriously not on the no-fly list. I wonder why. That's part of the whole spectacle, right? Of the government doing things to actually help people. It's all spectacle. What the government should be doing to help people is to actually make it so that vaccines can be produced freely around the world and the supply is actually managed and distributed around the world to help get a handle on this. But that wouldn't look good to the rabid, raging fan bases of various different political parties. So they have to do the political thing, which is to look like you're doing something when you're in effect doing less than nothing. It's a very skillful art. And so that's why we're seeing just ridiculous travel bans that aren't going to do anything to actually meaningfully stop the spread of the variant, nor is it actually going to help, vaccinate people in the global south. And yeah, that's just really a sign of what's going to come, which means, unfortunately, if the variant comes into Canada and various other Western countries and begins to spread like wildfire, and worse still, breaks through vaccination rates, oh boy, you know what that means? Possible lockdown time. And we've already seen how that's been politicized. So you can expect a ton of social conflict from that, which means, oh boy, folks, we are in for yet another fun time, which means 2022, probably not going to be a fun year. Anyone else noticing a trend? Right, we're like, oh, 2016, what a terrible year. And then 2017 wasn't much better. The other years were kind of hit and miss. 2020 was just, oh my God, can 2020 stop? And 2021 has just been a continuation of that train wreck. 2022 looks set to be yet another continuation, if you want to call it the third part of the pandemic trilogy, maybe. So that's where we're heading. And it's all so unfortunate because this was all so avoidable. If everyone did their part, and if rich, greedy sociopaths didn't get to have the actual control and the power and influence that they regrettably and unfortunately do, and if governments did the right things at the right time, then maybe this would have just been a half a year to maybe year-long blip, and it could have been actually dealt with properly as a global movement and as a global species, but it hasn't. And that is a supreme tragedy, and it is definitely what's bothering me today.